Welcome to How We Heard It, the podcast about music, pop culture, movies, and more, with your hosts, Wayne Bledsoe and Chuck Campbell.
Sabadi, this is Chuck Campbell with
Wayne Bledsoe and
John Baker.
That's a hello to Laos.
Good.
We got one or two listeners over the weekend. And when it first showed up on my little world map they give the name of the country. And it was like a bunch of words. I thought, oh, this is another country I've never heard of. And I could see from the dot on the map that it was over by Vietnam and Cambodia and everything. It says the Lao People's Democratic Republic. So that's
cool.
Laos. But anyway, welcome aboard, Laos. I hope we can make people from Laos happy. This is episode 101 of How We Heard It. And 6-7 weeks ago, we did an episode on songs about rain.
right.
And when we were doing that, somehow during that, we were talking about the moon, and we talked about maybe we could do one about the moon. So we're in May here, and we're wrapping up May with the second full moon of the month. So
Which is called a blue moon.
It's called the blue moon, yep. And this is the only month in 2026 where we'll have two full moons. So it's like, well, let's talk about moons now. And I found an interesting thing, which isn't surprising if you think about it. But are we okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I got some wide-eyed look there. Because moons are very symbolic in many of similar ways as rain. It can mean a couple of different things. It can mean romance. It can mean isolation. You know, it can be foreboding. It can be calming. It can mean secrecy. It can mean revelation. And I found that the moon itself just comes up all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I would look for like a favorite artist. I say, you know, have they done any songs with the word moon or something in it? 3 or 4 songs for just about everybody. It's like people talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
I think I could have done a whole show on just songs about blue moons. But go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sure. It was a signature of a lot of classic crooner songs, and it was a signature of classic rock. I'm only going back to the 70s. I figure you'll be going back sooner than that.
I'm going back
maybe
way,
the 1870s or something like that.
Okay, Chuck, I got to start off.
Okay.
You know, the oldest known song, the oldest song on record is about the moon goddess.
The moon goddess.
Yes.
Okay.
It was found in Syria on a clay tablet.
Okay.
And they finally figured out how to decipher it so that they could play it and have the lyrics to it. And it's about, asking the moon goddess for fertility. It's 3,400 years old.
Wow.
The oldest known song.
Well, the
about
most important
the moon.
question is, did it have a good beat and was it easy to dance to?
Oh, I listened to it because I looked it up, and it's just really pretty. It's just kind of simple and pretty. And
It's not a club banger.
No, not a club banger.
All right.
But there's that controversy over it. Is this correct? Is this the way it actually would have sounded? And a woman who had interpreted like, okay, this means to make this note 3 times or 4 times because it had numerical stuff.
Okay.
And somebody else said, nope, that's how long you're supposed to hold that note. So you have different versions of it out there.
Okay.
But the oldest song...
Remixes.
Yeah, all the remixes.
Well, I'm going to grab one right off the bat because I know all 3 of us have it, and that's There's a Moon in the Sky Called the Moon by
Right,
the B-52s. Right. The reason is that opening line is one of my favorite opening lines of any song.
Just so goofy.
It's just Fred Schneider goes, there's a moon in the sky. It's called the
moon.
And it's great. And the song is very much about the moon and the solar system. He's got the callback with the planets between Fred and then Cindy and Kate calling. They go for planets starting with the sun, and tracing back from that. They mention Andromeda. They mention there's just no atmosphere tonight, and just all kinds of Van Allen belt. So it's just a real fun. So I'm stealing that. That's from '79.
And isn't that something you always wondered about? It's like, okay, all the other moons, every other planet's moons have names.
Yeah,
ours is just called the moon.
Exactly. So that's what's so funny.
I know.
Sometimes it's called Luna.
Yeah,
well, that just means moon. Language too, right?
That just means moon.
Tomato.
It's not like it's Io or something like that. Europa. It's just
maybe in Saturninian language that just means moon.
Exactly.
Okay, there you go.
Well, while I'm in Georgia, I'm going to do one more and then turn it back over. This is one that might surprise you all, but I love this song. It's the Atlanta band Starbuck, and that's Moonlight Feels Right.
You really like that song?
I love that song. It's got a marimba solo in it. I mean, that's awesome. And I love what's his name? Bruce Blackman, the lead vocalist. I mean, he's just like, he's wanting to get some, right? And he's just got this sly little laugh in it. He's got all this southern imagery in it because, they were an Atlanta band. And he's got the, what is it? It's kind of a smoke rock. It's kind of a yacht rock. Yeah, smooth. And it's just... I don't know. He goes, I'll play the radio on Southern stations because Southern bells are hell at night. And I don't know. It's just fun. I love his vocal pitch and I love the melody. And he just kind of weaves around. And I think it's great. And it's got some kind of synthesizer. I don't know what that is. But
that little diddly-deet, that's in there. I don't know. It's
and
probably
again, the marimba solo. That was from 76, so that was on the radio. And I guess you had some remnants of classic rock battling it out with disco. And here's this really... wonderful little adult contemporary song that I just think is cool.
Totally
it's his voice.
Surprised me.
Huh?
You've totally surprised
I know. I
me.
thought that would because it has all the elements of being something I wouldn't like, but I just liked that. His voice won me over. So there you go.
That's interesting. Well, I go back a little bit further, Chuck.
74.
And I'll get these out of the way quick.
Okay.
Because
all right.
I know how you are. Every time I bring up something really old, you roll your eyes. Everybody knows By the Light of the Silvery Moon. You know that. Yeah. Well, that was written in 1909. First version I have
is not 4,000 years old. But.
No, it's not 4,000 years. It's Ada Jones, premiered it in 1910, written the year before. There's I see the moon, the nursery rhyme, I see the moon, and the moon sees me, and the moon sees the one that I long to see. You know that song?
Nope.
Well, that's interesting. It's a popular thing. Anyway, that comes from at least 1784.
Okay.
Great, on their greatest hits album.
Yeah. Shine on Harvest Moon, 1909. Wow. And...
I went back 50 years. I thought that was pretty impressive. And here you are over 100 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Well,
shoot that serious song, yeah.
But there's also a song that I didn't know until, 20 years ago I heard it. When the Moon Shines on the Moonshine by Burt Williams from 1920. And it's about get the moon shining on you while you get your moonshine and make your moonshine.
And drink it?
Well, yes, and drink it. But yeah, Burt Williams is he was like the first black vaudeville star.
Okay.
And he had a good career and had a lot the song Nobody, I Ain't Got Nobody.
Oh yeah.
That's Burt Williams.
Okay.
Diamond Dave sang that song.
Yeah, he did. Van Halen did a cover of that. Or not Van Halen, it was
David Lee Roth.
David Lee Roth on
Yeah.
that solo thing. Yeah. So anyway, and then I got Billie Holiday. I mean, she could have done 3 albums of moon songs.
They all run together. All the crooners, I think they all covered every song that had anything to do with the moon. And it just seems like there must have been thousands back then.
It's incredible, and I did read up on it a little bit because I started going back and trying to get some of the history on some of the songs that I know. But Tin Pan Alley, they right at the turn of the century, tons of songs about the moon. You had sheet music. That's how you figured sales back then is from the sheet music, people playing them in their parlors, and it was there was just limitless songs about the moon.
I think there are more moon songs than rain songs, actually.
Oh, yeah.
And there's so many rain songs. Yeah. So.
But with Billie Holiday, she had The Moon Looks Down and Laughs, What a Little Moonlight Can Do, Moonlight in Vermont, which is a beautiful song, and I Wished on the Moon, and What a Little Moonlight Can Do, and then Blue Moon.
Okay.
Which Blue Moon, where was that? Blue Moon, the original of that was from 1934. Most of us know it from the doo-wop song. Blue moon, blue moon, you saw me standing alone. But that's the Capris in 1961. But Elvis recorded it in 56, I think. But
then turned it into Blue Moon of Kentucky.
Well, no, that's Bill Monroe.
Well, I know, but he starts the song by singing the Blue Moon song, and then all of a sudden it hypes up and plays the Bill Monroe song.
That's what Elvis did. Yeah, but you've got, all these different versions. It was premiered by Ted Fiorito in 1934. But then there was all these different versions that it just keeps on coming back up.
It's a classic.
Yeah, and it shows up in movies and TV shows all the time. But anyway, but that was the Blue Moon stuff. And then when Elvis did 3 Blue Moon songs. When My Blue Moon Turns Gold Again was another one. And then
Is that a big one?
What?
I've never heard that one before.
Oh yeah, it was like they're all from the 50s. When my blue moon turns gold again, and it's like it's a
I
nice
forgot
song.
you were practicing Elvis as a kid.
Yes, I was.
You got your experience doing this Elvis stuff.
And then my favorite Blue Moon song is sung by Nancy Griffith. Pat Alger and Eugene Levine wrote it, but it's Once in a Very Blue Moon.
Okay,
Really
Nancy
pretty song.
Griffiths. Wow.
Yeah, so that's from the 1980s.
Yeah. Okay.
Beautiful song.
Well, I'll go back before that again then.
Okay.
I'll go back to 72, and this one might be a little bit of a surprise, but Nick Drake's Pink Moon.
I love that
Just
song.
wrote that down.
Yeah.
Well, he's talking about blue moons. I'm like, well, let's do color moons. And what it's, kind of ponderous and both heavy. I think Nick Drake should have been, he would have been great in the 90s, I mean, I think he would have been
He was great
perfect.
in the 70s.
I think he would have been, had even more fertile environment in the 90s.
And I think wasn't it in the 90s that Pink Moon got used in a Volkswagen commercial and it just revived his whole catalog?
I guess so.
pretty
The
sure
90s or early 2000s. It's about in that era for sure.
But I mean, a whole generation of people that, including myself, had never heard of Nick Drake until
Yeah.
that commercial,
Yeah, me
and then I was like,
either.
"Hey, who's Nick Drake?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love Nick Drake.
But it's very ponderous, and kind of casual and heavy at the same time as he was. And it really struck me how it was very much a predecessor to Black Eyed Dog to me, because it has similar pitch and everything. It's 2 years before Black Eyed Dog, which is his last song before he died.
Right.
He suffered from depression, and it's a very
Probably
sad story.
agoraphobia.
Yeah, and
for
he,
sure.
he died in his 20s, right? I
Yeah.
mean, he was a young man. But I hear Pink Moon, and I'm just thinking that Black Eyed Dog's going to show up. So anyway, kind of a downer, but
It's a great song though.
I don't think ponderous is the right word for that song to me. His music in general, it is eerie at times, but to me it feels light on its feet
well, that's why I say it feels kind of casual. I mean, it just hits me kind of as both.
because he sort of sings in a
It
whisper.
seems almost conversational, like he just sat down and started singing instead of talking. There's no big production, kind of thing
Yeah.
going with it.
Well, and apparently at the end of his life, when they would book a recording session, Joe Boyd would just have to call him and say, "Oh, we're going to record Saturday."
Yeah.
And they didn't know when he would show up or if he would show up. But when he did, they had to just mic him up and get going because he wouldn't say anything to anyone. He'd just sit
Right.
down and start playing. And if he didn't capture it, he'd
It kind of
leave.
sounds that way,
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like there's no big swinging orchestra or anything backing
Well,
him
some
up.
of the earlier stuff has some good orchestration on it. Brighter, 5 Leaves Later or
5 Leaves Left.
and Brighter Later both have really good, really nice orchestration on them.
Well, my favorite actually is wasn't released until way after he died. Name just went out of my head, but it's got Time of No Reply.
Oh, yeah.
And it's beautifully orchestrated and sounds. It's very simple and very very pretty.
Simple's a good word.
Yeah, but I don't really find.
Uncomplicated.
I mean, Black Dog sounds depressing, but with Pink Moon, to me, it's just one of those things where it's so easy and so pretty, and it just makes me feel calm and kind of thankful, really.
I guess I just knew too much of his backstory
Yeah.
before I even heard the song. So
Yeah.
when you hear the song after knowing what torture his life was, then it just sounds different,
Made to Love Magic.
Yeah, Made to Love Magic. I love that.
It was released in 2004.
Yeah,
But it's got Black Eyed Dog and Time of No Reply.
yeah, Made to Love, and that's a really pretty song too.
I got more 70s.
Okay. Well, if you're, I didn't.
Okay, I'll keep
go
going.
with the 70s. You go back, and I'll find another 70 for you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, John.
I've got the 70s, and I can't believe nobody's even said it yet. First thing popped in my head when you said songs about the moon, Dark Side of the Moon from 1973. It's Pink Floyd's.
I figured y'all are
biggest-
doing these Brad Moon Rising, and all that kind of.
But also
the
from
biggies.
the 70s, how about Van Morrison Moondance?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Moondance is great.
That's such a great record.
1970, and it's funny. Astro Weeks had come out before that and critically acclaimed, but nobody bought it. And then Moondance came out, and it was just a little bit more easy on the ears and
accessible.
Yeah, accessible is the right word. And it's like...
And Into the Mystic remains one of my most favorite songs.
Into
That
the
bass line is just, it's been used. I've used it a million times.
But, man, Moondance, you can put that on. It's like everybody just starts kind of tapping along.
Uh-huh.
It's just such a lovable song. Well, in that same era, there's Dancing in the Moonlight.
That is...
King Harvest.
I remember the song. I didn't know the artist.
Well, what's interesting about that is King Harvest, they were like an Ithaca, New York band, and then they broke up, and the members like slowly moved to Paris, and they got this other guy that was living in Paris, and he had had that song with his band Buffalo or something, and then they decided to cover it. And it initially flopped over there. Then they started playing it over here, and it became a huge hit. But I never knew it was a cover, but it was a cover by one of the guys in the band had written it for another band.
Well, if you wrote it, you can cover it. You're not really covering it.
Yeah, I know, but
you're just playing it.
Yeah, but it's interesting because that band is like, it's the only French American band that I know of. They had French members and American members. And they hit while they were in France.
Huh. That's interesting.
I love that song.
I got a Teenage Kate Bush you're going to hate. And I had to do Kate Bush just because.
Of course you did.
Witchy Woman. Of course, Moon's going to come up in all kinds of her songs. But one of my favorites is from 78. L'amour looks something like you. And it's Kate and her little crazy mind and imagining, or maybe not imagining, but having a one-night stand with somebody or being in love with somebody. Mm-hmm. And maybe he's real and maybe he's not. But it's very lovely, and she recorded it again later with a deeper voice, and I think you would like that version.
Oh, okay.
You won't like the teenage version that she hit with.
Right.
But then she's got I like the line, I'm hanging on the old goose moon. You look like an angel sleeping it off at a station. Were you only passing through? I'm dying for you just to touch me. And it's just like really a teenager, and just like in her head. And it kind of reminds me of The Man with the Child in His Eyes. This is for the people out there, you know what I'm talking about. And then I'm going to know, everybody knows The Police. And I actually listened to this again. I hadn't heard Walking on the Moon in a while, and I don't like it now.
I love it.
There's just something.
It's one of my favorite Police songs.
Well, they made the video at NASA, I guess down in Cape Canaveral, which was I hadn't thought about that or anything, but it's a reggae rock song. So,
yes, one of the things I like about it.
But it just, to me, it just didn't hold up. It just feels kind of way back. It sounds like from before times now, but I guess it's because of how the changes that the Police made.
I'm not sure if I discussed this on our podcast or not, but I was just listening to an interview with Stuart Copeland. Tell me if you've heard this before.
Yeah.
Did I already mention this?
Yeah.
Okay. I just think it's funny how he says, 9 times out of 10, that's the second time I ever played the song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just makes it up as he goes.
That's the song. Yeah. I didn't even think about that when I was writing that one down.
Yeah. Well, from that same era, there's Man on the Moon by REM.
REM.
Yep, that's a tribute to Andy Kaufman.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't really about the moon so much. It was about conspiracies and everything.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But, it was what is it? Who is he? I think he referenced Elvis. Like, are you joking on Elvis and all that stuff?
Andy Kaufman did Elvis.
Yeah. So it was a nice little tribute. And a good song and very catchy catchy chorus.
Yeah, and the movie was pretty good that they made of it. It was pretty good. I
didn't see the movie.
Yeah, it was story of Andy Kaufman. And it was pretty good, too.
Yeah.
With Jim Carrey as Andy Kaufman. And apparently he became just as obnoxious as Andy Kaufman to get in character for the role.
Did you ever come across My Breakfast with Blassie?
Oh, yeah.
Which is the opposite side of the coin of My Dinner with Andre. Because My Dinner with Andre is just like the most high-minded, philosophical conversation over dinner. And My Dinner with Blassie is classy Freddie Blassie, who's a pro wrestling promoter, and they go to breakfast at some greasy spoon, and they're smacking the waitress on the ass, and it's just the most lowbrow. So anyway, funny.
A lot of 80s songs about the moon. Talking Heads' Moon Rocks from 83. That was a real weird, glitchy, great groove, though. Really great groove in it. Where he's talking about, is he making like some mushrooms or something? Because he's talking about eating moon rocks and what they might do to you. You're not going to like get a real clear understanding of a Talking Heads song.
There was a candy called Moon Rocks for a while.
Oh, that's right, there was. Surely that's not.
There's like that effort, like Pop Rocks.
Yeah, it's something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I remember.
What were the things that you put in water and they grew?
Oh,
I thought those were moon rocks.
Maybe that is what it was called. I can't remember.
Did you ever eat those?
No. No.
I wonder what that would do. I had some weird chemical in the water, so I'm sure it would do something to you.
But yeah, that was actually. I mean, they were like a salt compound that would grow.
Back here in the alt rock, Echo and the Bunnymen, The Killing Moon. It's about the inevitability of life and how fate takes over control of life and everything. And my favorite might be The Church, Under the Milky Way.
Oh, yeah, that's a great one.
I'm passing that one in. It doesn't make direct reference to the moon, the word moon, but it's clearly about, sky watching and everything. And this is a great alt-rock Australian band. If you've not heard them, I know you have. But definitely worth looking up. And this might be their best song, or at least best hit. But he's talking about something shimmering in white. So I'm saying, okay, we're going to go ahead and... There are two that I just passed in there.
I got two that are moon adjacent that I put on here.
This one might be a moon.
They may probably mention the moon in them.
But the interesting thing about that Church song is, as beautiful as it was and everything, the songwriter, Steve Kilbey, he said the song was kind of an accident. And he was sort of hiding it and burying it and not wanting to play it, which didn't make sense. But apparently he wrote it to try to impress a woman. And I just thought, if you failed at that and then you had this big hit with a song, how would you feel about your song pitch failed? Or I don't know. I thought that must have had something to it. He eventually embraced it and everything, but there was a while there when they were having this great success with a great song, and he was sort of disavowing it and just saying he just kind of made it up on spur of the moment or something.
Yeah, but so many. I mean, I've talked to so many people through the years that they have a similar sort of a story. Where it's like somebody said we needed a single, so we went back and wrote it, and it's like, well, just because you wrote it that fast doesn't mean it's not great.
But I would argue, as a songwriter, that the best songs I write are the ones that just pop out fully formed without really any effort.
Yeah.
The songs that you have to work on and work on and work on, they sound worked on.
Yeah.
I just figure, it'd be interesting to me, as an artist like you, John, is that what headspace you were in when you wrote a song, and if it has bad memories for you or there's some negative association with it, but then everyone else loves it and you can't get past your own personal feelings about what you did yourself.
Well, it always strikes me as odd that when someone will come up and say, that song you wrote, I love that song. And I'll think, that song? I think that song's a turd.
I don't even play that song anymore.
I've talked to so many people who say that, though. And it's like they just don't recognize it. But that's the thing about art. When you put it out there,
it's open to interpretation.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you have no idea how people are interpreting it.
Mm-hmm. And you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
Right.
If you tried hard enough to make them feel a certain way, then you failed.
Yeah.
I got one more 80s song. I'll get those out of the way. Sheila E.'s A Love Bizarre. Okay. Great groove, great rhythm. As you would expect, she's such a great percussionist and everything. It's just this funky, smoldering song, and it's like this fantasy, and it's all about, getting it on and everything. But she's talking about the moon up above, shining down us and everything. And she goes, it gets kind of rough in the back of a limousine. So I don't know. That song just gets me. It's such an unconventional because even her lead vocals almost feel like a supporting element to the groove. So, I'm groove heavy. I love that. So anyway, that's it for the 80s for me. Y'all go ahead.
I didn't take mine. I didn't put mine by decade.
I like to be
I've got
organized.
an 80s one.
Okay, go ahead.
Brian Eno, Apollo, Atmospheres and Soundtracks. It's his ambient album that he was commissioned to do this with his brother Roger Eno and Daniel Lanois, who's Canadian. And it was to put music to the NASA footage of the moon landings. Mm-hmm. And it's an amazing record. It sounds so good. Daniel Lanois plays a pedal steel on a lot of it, and it just is like syrup. Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful record.
Cool. All that stuff from that era that Eno did, I think is tremendous.
He's not done much that I don't love.
Yeah. Well, there's also Jimmy Webb, who wrote MacArthur Park and Galveston, and by the time I get to Phoenix, he wrote a really pretty song called The Moon's a Harsh Mistress. Came out in the 70s, which, of course, I think he just went ahead and took the name from a science fiction novel that was I think it was Theodore Sturgeon.
I feel like I've heard that expression,
I have too.
Yeah, but I think
but
that's
not as a song.
Yeah, but I think I don't know if that has anything older or not. But the first place I heard of it was science fiction novel. The same guy who wrote Stranger in a Strange Land. I guess it's...
Oh, it's probably in some Shakespeare thing.
In line or
Oh, it may be. It probably is. It sounds too much like that. It probably is Shakespeare, when you think of it. But anyway, he wrote a really pretty song. Julie Collins covered it. A whole bunch of different people covered it. But it's really pretty.
I got a good one.
What?
From 1974, Gil Scott-Heron, Whitey on the Moon.
Oh, God, I forgot about that one. I love that one.
It's from the album The Revolution Will Not Be
Yes.
Televised.
Well,
And
what
it's
is
just-
this? Y'all are both laughing. I don't
Well,
know
it's
this
just
song.
funny. He's talking about we got poverty, people are going without food, people are but Whitey's on the
We're
moon.
on the moon.
Like, we could be spending money on things that really matter, but Whitey's on the moon.
They used that in a movie not too long ago. I can't think what it was, but it brought it back up. People started playing it again, but it's great. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's just going
If
through
you
everything.
believe they put a man on the moon.
Well, apparently Tim Burchett doesn't.
Oh, God.
Anyway, moving on.
But yes, Whitey's on the Moon. I love that song or that piece. It's just sort of a recitation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do one that this actually is a personal story and kind of a little bit of a bizarre one or anything. But Anya's Shepherd Moons.
Yeah.
Now, that was from 1991. It was after Orinoco Flow, so it was like more dialed back than her previous album. And Shepherd Moons are actually the moons in the Saturn debris, the rings of Saturn. And what they do is they keep everything in a path with their orbits of Saturn. They keep all the stuff, space dust and everything going. But it's such a beautiful, calming album. And my German Shepherd, Banshee, she used to listen with me when I would review albums. And there were a lot of, she didn't like hard stuff, or, like the really aggressive stuff. And she would lay by in the den, she would lie down by the sliding doors. And in between tracks, like if some song just, chimes out, she would just go, she'd do these big sighs in between the tracks. And I would put this album on, and she loved this album. And this is kind of personal, but, she got older and older, and she was still doing okay, and the vet didn't see anything wrong with her, but she was a German Shepherd, and she was old. And the day before, I'd taken her out, and she was even chased a squirrel. But on this day, the next day, it was a Sunday, and she just kind of came up to me and gave me this look and went down to her bed near these sliding doors that I was talking about. And I put that album on, and she just let go.
Wow.
And it was just like this bizarre, and she just kind of, it's like she came and summons me. We got down on the floor with her. We were just petting her. And I just felt like I knew this was going to happen, even though she was up moving around and everything. And, and she just was at the point she wanted to let go. And so she let go to this album, and I can't listen to it now.
Wow.
So.
Well, but, it's so funny the effect that music has on animals.
Yeah.
We know what effect it has on us.
Yeah.
But
They hear it too.
they do, and sometimes it just does something.
Yeah.
They just really, really like it. So it's great that there was something that she felt that release to that.
It's like we were just kind of like in motion of just doing something we knew we would do someday, and we hadn't really thought about without even thinking. This is just, she came and got me, and I don't know. It was really moving. It was really moving. So,
well, I want to bring up just probably my very favorite Moon song is written by somebody who is a local singer-songwriter, Kevin Abernathy, which I've
local in Knoxville.
in Knoxville. And I've mentioned him many, many times before. But he has a song called "Notice the Moon," which is, and when I put it on, he's a really hotshot electric guitar player. So you always notice the guitar first. But he sent it to me, and I started listening to it, and I got to this song, and the lyrics absolutely just knocked me out because it's about a meth head who's had a car wreck or a truck wreck, and he's laying in the middle of the highway, bleeding to death, and looking up at the moon and the stars, and it's this verse is, "Mama listens to the police scanner. She likes it better than the TV. It probably won't surprise her when she hears it's me. Out here by the river, truck flipped upside down. Crystal pumping out my blood. Crystal pumping out my blood. Back against the ground. I've noticed the moon. I've noticed the stars. I see the famous mountains in my backyard. Ain't nobody talking except two whippoorwills. It's been so long since I've been this still. It's like, wow. I mean, it's
You remembered a lot of lyrics there.
oh, man, well, it's one of my favorite songs, so I've kind of got it memorized, but it's like.
Sorry, had a little technical glitch, but we're back.
But anyway, I just think the lyrics are so good, and he's also got a great line in there that's called, that he says, even on the good days, I was into something bad.
On his album Family, what's the name of it? Anyway, he's got a song about beach music.
Yeah.
And there's Take a Drive Down the Strip. It's a drag.
Yeah.
So that's a great lyric.
Oh, he can turn a phrase like
You know him as a hotshot guitarist, but he's an unbelievable songwriter.
Yeah, and that's on 2 albums. That one's on Rock and Roll Fiasco is the electric version, which is the first time I heard it, and he's got an acoustic version on Some Stories. And it's funny because I was out someplace, some show out of town with him, and this band that opened had said, they were talking about, man, we heard that song. And it was all over for him. It was just like, that was just great. They just, huge fans after that.
How about, from 1977, television, Marquee Moon?
Oh, yeah.
At television, Tom Verlaine and Richard Lloyd, two really, really great guitar players. I know you're not going to be into this, but Marquee Moon is just, they build this twin guitar solo up that just builds and builds and builds and builds, and it finally releases into this sort of diaphanous cloud, and then it starts back up. The song starts back up again, and it's an amazing piece of guitar work and songwriting. Television.
Yeah, that was a great band, great debut album. Mm-hmm. Pretty incredible.
My friend Ray, I've talked about him often. He was helping me out with some of this and pitching songs, and he pitched television. I thought, nope, I won't have to bring that one up.
I actually didn't put it on because I knew how much John loves
I
that.
knew one of you would.
Tom Verlaine just had a huge influence on my guitar style, the way he plays. It's the opposite. I mean, every guitar player that I ever kind of studied kind of based their stuff on the blues, and Tom Verlaine just does not play blues scale at all. And that was, when I discovered television, that was really refreshing to think, you don't have to play the pentatonic blues scale. You can play whatever you want.
Well, I want to bring up, and this goes way back.
Oh, boy.
Oh, come on. You like this. I know you like it. Moon River.
Okay, yeah.
It was a great song. It premiered
made by everybody.
Yeah, everybody is
recorded by
it.
everybody.
But Audrey Hepburn in the movie Breakfast at Tiffany's.
I was going to say, that was from
Was
a
that really
movie,
her
wasn't it?
vocal?
Okay. That was her singing, and she was the person who actually premiered that song.
Wow.
And it's interesting because it's in a period of time. Johnny Mercer was one of the great lyricists of classic pop from the 30s up until the 60s, and he wrote the lyrics, and Henry Mancini wrote the music. And
Didn't he write a bunch of stuff for Duke Ellington, Johnny Mercer?
Ellington covered stuff, but I don't think they collaborated.
Oh, okay. I somehow have them attached to each other in my mind.
He wrote things with Hoagie Carmichael, like Heart and Soul. Heart and soul, I fell in love with you. Everybody knows that. Everybody plays on piano. Because it's so
get
simple.
a little bit of heart and soul.
Yeah, no, I don't think Huey Lewis.
No, I'm not even talking. I'm talking about T-Pow.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, yes, that expression has been used.
Yeah.
I have two to throw to the jury to decide if these are actual Moon songs or not. But it's in my mind. If I play one of them, I'll automatically play the other one. And the first is "Rocket Man" by Elton John.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
It's about an astronaut. I mean,
yeah.
And then once I play that, I got to play "Space Oddity" by David Bowie.
Yeah.
And
sure.
They mention the moon in Space Oddity, don't they?
I think so. I can't remember. I have to go
anyway,
back to all the lyrics.
But both of those, they were written right during the middle of the space race and back when NASA was landing landers on the moon and all of that. And
well, Bowie's was written after he saw
69.
2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
And that is in the movie, one of the astronauts floats off because how the computer has sabotaged things.
Sabotage. Wow.
What are you doing, Dave? Yeah, that's creepy.
I love it.
Well, you both just led me to the Beastie Boys' Intergalactic, which I also think doesn't specifically name the moon, but it's a great space party song, and I don't know. Like I say, it's a space age kind of fantasy. So and fantastic, a lot of fun.
Well, I'm going to bring up from 1965 a song that I occasionally sing to my grandchildren. "Everyone's Gone to the Moon" by Jonathan King, which is this great kind of free association song. It's right. Everybody was influenced by Dylan, and it doesn't matter what order you sing the verses in because they don't really, follow one on top of the other. But, "Streets Full of People," "All Alone," oh gosh. No, it's gone out of my head. But
Not
but
quite
anyway.
as sharp as Abernathy then.
No. But it's
But you sing it.
yeah. Well,
Okay.
I sing it, but yeah.
But I
We're on
can't
the
right
spot.
now.
We're on the spot.
You just kind of la through the parts you can't remember.
Well,
That's
no,
what I
it's
do.
"Hearts Full of Motors Painted Green," "Mouths Full of Chocolate Covered Cream," "Sun Coming Out in the Middle of June," "Everyone's Gone to the Moon." That's the thing, is you can fit it all together however you want because it really doesn't make sense.
Right.
But it's really, really pretty. And, of course, I try to forget that Jonathan King turned out to be a pervert later on.
Oh, I don't forget stuff like that.
Well, I love that song so much, and he was such a creep. He was the creep at the time, apparently, but I guess it was always there.
I got some different uses of Moon.
Okay.
One is a song by Belly from 1993. It's my favorite Belly song. It's called "Low Red Moon." And it's very grungy, and it's very passionate. And Tanya Donnelly's going back and forth between these real soft verses and everything, and then it's just hard driving guitar, blowout chorus, and you're not sure where it's coming from, but it's this intensity of new love, and it's like obsession, and it's like a great feeling and a terrifying feeling, and there's like fear and anger and all this stuff, and the chorus is just "Low red moon, how can you sleep like a baby?" And she's like talking to this man that she's just crazy in love with or just falling in love with, but like her emotions are just banging all over the place, and he's sleeping like a baby, and how can he do this in the middle of it? It's a real curious song because of how across the board she is with it. And then Dead Can't Dance, I've brought them up before. They didn't sing in English. Well, Lisa Gerrard didn't sing in English. Brendan Perry, he did. Those were the two lead vocalists. They both sing lead on this song called "The Snake in the Moon." And it's very sensual. It's like a world music, kind of a world music, dance music. It's all, organic instrumentation, so it's not electronic or anything. And they both have these really just awesome personalities back and forth. And it just sounds like something's about to happen between them. It's a great world music song. And then Janet Jackson, "Together Again." This was in 1997, and she recorded this to all of her friends and loved ones that she had lost to AIDS. And in 1997, it was still like this, ravaging pandemic and everything. But she puts a real upbeat spin on it. She didn't want it to just be like a sad, gloomy type song. So it's a real upbeat dance song. And she goes, "I know you're there smiling back at me, and dancing in the moonlight. I know you're free." It's a real uplifting song. One of her better songs.
It's cool. Well, I'm gonna say something really recent, Chuck.
Okay.
Aruj Aftab, who we've seen at Big Ears many times, and she's a Pakistani singer.
Okay.
She had a song called "The Vulture Prince," or the album called "The Vulture Prince," and on that is this song, and I think it's based on a Rumi poem.
Okay.
It's, "Last night, my beloved was like the moon, so beautiful," and it's just, she hardly sings anything else in it. She repeats that over and over, but it's like hypnotic and meditative, and absolutely beautiful.
I like hypnotic and meditative.
Yeah, you would like her a lot. You need to check her out sometime. Since you turned me on to Olivia Rodrigo, and now I'm getting Olivia Rodrigo
All
stuff.
right, what's this gal's
feeds.
name?
Aruj Aftab.
Okay,
AROOJ.
And then AFTAB.
A what?
AFTAB.
FTA.
Aruj Aftab.
It is very haunting music.
Yeah, and it's just beautiful. And, I mean, the long pieces, you're just like, it's very hypnotic.
Okay.
How about from 2000, and I mentioned this album, I guess when we were talking about the 90s, even though it's 2000. And it's the Apples in Stereo, "Discovery of a World Inside the Moon." And it's just a great pop record. one great chimey pop song after another. Apples in Stereo, you definitely should check them out if you like a good, well-written guitar pop song.
Yeah, and very kind of Beatle-y.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got PJ Harvey, 1998. Now, this is PJ Harvey. This is from her Is This Desire album, which is my favorite PJ Harvey album. And the song, The Sky Lit Up, and it's got this kind of frenetic, kind of intense energy in it. And it just feels like you're over caffeinated or something more than that. Caffeine is kind of as far as I go. But anyway, it's like over caffeinated, one of those Panera drinks or something. But and she's talking about seeing the trees crossing the moon, and it's both dreamy and uneasy at the same time, like this whole album is, and it's all about kind of reconciling your emotions and everything. A great album, and Sky Lit Up. And then I'll go on to this century. Erykah Badu, Orange Moon, from 2000. Go Big Orange, right? I don't think her Orange Moon had anything to do with the Tennessee Volunteers, but we can always imagine that. But anyway, she says that she's reflecting the light of the moon, and it's just a very fetching, jazzy kind of song, very pretty, Orange Moon. And I guess I should go on to Amy Mann, Lost in Space. Lost in Space from 2002. Now, she does have a moon line in this, and this album is arguably about addiction or, alcoholism or something like that. And she's talking about being in a state where she can't genuinely connect with anybody, and she's kind of lost herself, So it's sort of a theme in the album. But she has this line about being a bubble drifting into a place where planets shift and the moon's erased. I'm pretending to care when I'm not even there. Huh. So kind of disquieting observation about herself, which she does often.
Yep. She's good at that.
And she does it well, and it sounds
She writes
awesome.
a lot of waltzes.
Yeah. I like waltzes.
Melancholy waltzes.
Yeah.
But I love her to death.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I think I mentioned the Backsliders a few weeks ago, band from Raleigh, North Carolina. Their album and the title track is one of their albums. It's Throwing Rocks at the Moon. It's a great song about a guy who has a crush on a woman that does a little prostitution here and there, even though it's not said as much. But
it's just a hobby.
He's got a great line about upstairs, there's a razor gliding on glass, which, of course, is, they're taking a hit of Coke. And upstairs, a stranger's hands on her ass. Upstairs, there's a door being closed in the dark. And he's talking about how, meanwhile, I'm out in my front yard throwing rocks at the moon.
Huh. Well.
But, yeah, it's a great... Douglas or Robinson. I think Chip Robinson. Chip Robinson is lead singer-songwriter. Great songs that he's put out.
I keep hearing Chris Robinson.
That's from the Black Crowes.
Right.
That's why I keep convinced.
You had me doubting it, and I didn't even know what we were doubting, but I was doubting it with you.
Yes. Chip Robinson.
Okay.
But, yeah, Backsliders are a great band. I don't think they've recorded anything in a long time, but...
We've mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, but Los Lobos, 1992, Kiko and the Lavender Moon.
Love that one.
That whole album is really, really great. I think it's a landmark album. It reminds me a lot of Paul Simon Graceland in that it just covers so many different styles. Yeah. And David Hidalgo is just one of the great singers in rock and roll. Great guitar player, too.
Yeah. And Louis Perez, the drummer, I think he wrote most of the lyrics.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he quit touring with them pretty early on, but he's still a member of the band, I think, and wrote all that stuff. But that song, Kiko and the Lavender Moon, it's got a lot of accordion on it, and it really gets you, like, you feel like it's a chimp or an ape or something looking up at the moon. And it's like you just get this feeling from it. It's really atmospheric, and I love it.
Brings out your primal instincts.
Yeah, it's funny when somebody can just create a piece of music that gives you a picture, and that one really does. You feel the moonlight coming through the window.
Okay, I got a sweet one from Radiohead's Tom York. Believe it or not, yes, he wrote this for his son Noah, and it's I didn't write it. Sail to the Moon. And it's actually a classy song, and it's talking about dropped from the moonbeams and sailed as shooting stars. A very pretty, affectionate song from Tom York, the creep from Radiohead.
A creep.
And Queens of the Stone Age had an interesting one too, called "This Lullaby," and Mark Lanigan actually sings lead vocals on this one, and it's a tribute to people that have either disappeared or have died or something, and he's talking about it's been so long since the moon has gone, and of course we lost Mark Lanigan during the pandemic, COVID pandemic. But
Did he die of COVID?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
There's quite a few musicians. We got
Schlesinger. Adam
I
Schlesinger.
think when he
Fountains of
died,
Wayne and-
maybe they didn't say what his cause of death was at first, but then they said he had COVID and he had really bad COVID, so COVID related, COVID adjacent maybe.
John Prine. Killed
I'm
John
remembering
Prine, too.
correctly.
Oh, yeah. I saw John Prine's last concert,
Huh.
New Year's Eve.
Wow. Well,
I can't believe nobody said Neil Young, Harvest Moon.
it's on my list. I figured you'd bring it up, though.
You
That's a
know
good
I
one.
wouldn't have said that.
I knew you wouldn't have. Well, Tom Waits, of course, has Grapefruit Moon off his first album, Closing Time, which is a great one.
Is that the one where he has the lyric about the new moon left its teeth marks all over the inky black sky or
No,
something like
that's
that? Every time I see a crescent moon, it reminds me of that line.
what is the name of that? I can't remember what song that's from. But he also has one called Drunk on the Moon, too, which is off his next album, Heart of a Saturday Night. But he's, of course you would expect Tom Waits to write lots of songs about the moon because he's just like one of those old Tin Pan Alley sort of writers, at least back then he was.
Yeah.
But yeah, and wrote, tons of standards and classics.
Looking back at Mark Lanigan, the former Screaming Trees and Queens of the Stone Age vocalist, died at age 57 on February 22nd, 2022, at his home in Killarney, Ireland. While an official cause was not publicly released by his family, his death followed a severe battle with COVID-19 in 2021 that left him with long-term health issues, including kidney disease and temporary hearing loss.
Wow.
So just wanted to clarify. I wasn't just dreaming it up or something.
Too bad. Well, also, okay, here's one from the 60s.
Okay. let's
Roger
get back.
Miller, The Moon is High and So Am I. One of my favorite song titles, and that's the best lyric in it too. But it's great. He's just making up. That's the thing with Roger Miller. He was really good at just like putting together kind of nonsense, fun stuff. Dang Me and King of the Road and everything. But The Moon is High.
King of the Road.
Yeah, Moon is High and So Am I. I love that line.
Is that a lot of people cover that one, or
Not really.
really?
I mean, I've said it many times.
You've officially covered it now.
But it's a great song. It didn't get the coverage that some of his other songs did.
Okay. In the 2010s here, Bruno Mars, who's become kind of a...
It's not Mars, it's the moon.
Well, no, I know, but he's got a song called Talking to the Moon. So we got Mars talking to the moon. It's kind of a very... a different kind of take for him because he's kind of a clown, on stage and real energetic and everything. And this one's piano based, and he's yearning and everything. And he hopes that he's talking to the moon because he's missing somebody. And he says, in hopes you're on the other side talking to me too. So he's imagining the moon is like a center ground between someone and between him and someone he's missing.
That's the whole point of I see the moon and then the moon sees me, Chuck.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking at the moon and the moon's there's the person I love's looking at the moon too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's looking at the same moon, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's shining down on everybody. Of course, at different times of the different hours.
Well, I don't know. This is just self-promotion, but I'm in the middle of finishing up an album about space songs, and one of the songs is Supermoon, because when I was writing it, we had a supermoon, which is when the moon in its orbit comes as close as it gets to the Earth, and so it appears really big.
Right.
But the history of the song was originally when I wrote it was there is a breakaway sect of the moon religion, the Moonies, people called them.
Right.
And this sect,
Young Moon.
they worship weapons and have machine guns in their religious services, and you can come have your weapons blessed at church, and they called them the Super Moonies. And the Super Moonies bought a whole big, huge piece of land in Upper East Tennessee and are building a compound where they live. So I originally wrote the song with Super Moonies, But then when I was making this album and I needed another song, I changed it to Supermoon, and the whole lyric is about moon rituals. And it's just a list of moon rituals. Anyway, Supermoon. It'll be out soon.
Coming soon.
Well, okay. One of my very favorites is Norah Jones' "Shoot the Moon," and it's just a what? What?
Nothing.
Quit sighing when you like
Were we
Norah
just
Jones
talking
now.
about it? Yeah, okay. Keep reminding me of that.
But it's probably that's off her album "Come Away With Me," and that's probably my favorite song off of it. But there's also released nearly at the same time a guy named Kenny White, who's got a great song called "Shoot the Moon."
It's a different song.
Totally different song. And then Dan Reeder, another one of my favorites, who's just released a live album and is out there with his daughter playing music now. But
Is that Eddie Reeder?
no, Dan Reeder.
Okay.
Eddie Reeder was it Fairground Attraction? She was the lead
Oh,
singer
yeah,
for.
yeah. I knew her from somewhere. Go ahead.
Yeah, but no,
Sorry.
Dan Reeder he's a very minimalist guy that's a great visual artist too. But he's got a song called "Shoot Me to the Moon." Sometimes I can relate to
Shoot
that.
the moon. Yeah. To the moon, Alice.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that very thing.
2011, we had Quirky Bjork, and her song Moon, which is just real glitchy. It's this quirky loop that she's in. The video's crazy. Everything about it's crazy. But I love it because she's equating the phases of the moon to the phases of life, including like rebirth and everything. So if you like crazy old Bjork, that's a moon song from 2011. Kendrick Lamar, he took the moon in a whole different direction. There's a song called "The Blacker the Berry," and it's about racism, but it's also about kind of internalized racism among people of color who sometimes judge people who are even darker skinned than they are. And he's in it. He goes, "I'm black as the moon." That's part of his line in it and everything. But it's a real confrontational on all forms of racism and judging people from the color of their skin or just the darkness of their skin. Ariana Grande, "Moonlight." That's just a dreamy little song she did. It's about first kiss under a blood moon, which of course is a total lunar eclipse. Mm-hmm. It's so weird to call it a blood moon, but that's what they call it. So,
well, but it turns red. It turns, but because of the way the light goes around.
See, I know I've written these stories and I've seen these stories about blood moons and about super moons. You'll say, "Oh, it's going to be the super moon." You'll see like this giant moon next to Big Ben or the Eiffel Tower or something. It's like, it's not going to look that big, people. That's tricky cameras. And like the blood moon and stuff like that. I get it with the eclipse and all, but a lot of times it's just when the moon's first coming up on the horizon, it's just pollution in the air.
Yeah,
That makes
it's
it look
it's
orange.
going through the atmosphere at an angle.
Yeah.
So it's getting more of the
so
atmosphere.
when it gets on up in the sky, it's just the same old moon.
Yeah.
There's a moon in the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
but when
called
you,
the moon.
Yeah. And everybody is there.
but when you have a total eclipse, it will turn
Yeah.
that
Who
red.
wrote "Total Eclipse of the Heart"?
Well, I know
It's
Bonnie
Jim
Tyler
Steinman.
sang it. I don't know who wrote
Bonnie Tyler sang it, and Jim Steinman wrote it. Jim Steinman, the guy behind Meatloaf.
Meatloaf. Okay, sorry.
it. That's all right.
Yeah. Well, we're on the eclipses, So that's all moon related. There's a fellow named Dirk Hamilton who's actually from Texas. I always thought he was British. He's got this weird accent, but he's got this great song called "Billboard on the Moon," which is kind of about how commercialized everything is, and eventually they're just going to put a billboard on the moon.
Yes.
But he's one of those kind of cult level artists that just a few people seem to know about. But he's got a great album called "Meet Me at the Crux," and that's off of that album.
Okay.
But
What's his name?
Dirk Hamilton. And he's still out there making music. I see something every once in a while. But that one, it's one of those I bought at Woolworths for like 50 cents or $1, just because I liked the titles on the back of the album. And it was like, oh, this turned out to be great.
Yeah. Yeah. Benson Boone from 2025. He's I was talking about like Kate Bush or Stevie Nicks or whatever, witchy people. And he's kind of a witchy people today. These days. He's like a Gen Z guy. And he had a song called Mystical Magical. And it's very theatrical. The way he sings it is very theatrical. And he's the one who does all the flips on stage and everything, back flip, forward flips.
Yeah.
And it's about obsessing on someone and confronting the mixed messages that someone will send to you. Kind of going to that low red moon of bellies or whatever, where you just got all these weird emotions firing off all the way. And he's talking about I love the way he does it too. He goes, feelings like, what is it? Feelings like moonbeam ice cream. I don't know what that is, but anyway, it's just a fun, playful, kind of crazy song. And moonbeam ice cream, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a flavor somewhere. Somebody sells it. Maybe Ben & Jerry's or somebody.
Well, Nielsen has a song called the Moonbeam Song, which is
I saw moonbeams
pretty.
pop up now and then. What's the Nielsen's one?
Yeah, it's just like, have you ever did you ever see a moonbeam? I can't remember the exact lyrics, but it's just nice about being out and
I love the moon in the ocean.
Yeah,
like on the waves, the breaking waves.
Oh yeah, me too. That's hypnotic.
Yeah.
Anytime moonlight reflects off of water, it's good.
Yeah. Moonbeams are. It took me a while to even know what a moonbeam was. I would hear the expressions like, "Well, I knew what a sunbeam was. Just figure it out, Chuck." But my brain doesn't work as fast as it should sometimes.
I just thought up David Bowie, Moon Age Daydream.
Yeah.
It's not really about the moon, but it's got moon in the title.
Yeah, I thought about that one, and then because it doesn't really say, I don't know what it means, but it just got moon in there.
Freak out
in the Moon Age Daydream, yeah.
Far out.
Well, all right. I got Cat Stevens' song Moon Shadow.
I have that on my list.
Well, I remember watching him on PBS. Me and my sister were watching it on TV. Our parents were, my mother and my stepdad, watching it with us. And, it's just one of those songs about being kind of appreciative of what you've got. But he says, and if I ever lose my mouth, all my teeth, north and south. And I'll never forget my dad looking over after he sang that line, like, what the hell?
That was Cat Stevens?
Cat Stevens.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, Moon Shadow was one of his most favorite, most popular songs.
I think my mom had the hots for Cat Stevens because she bought all his records, and we listened to that a lot when I was a kid.
He's a good-looking guy.
And Neil Diamond, too.
Yeah. Well, I interviewed him as Yusuf Islam. I also misspelled his name because I was familiar with Yusuf Lateef, who was a jazz guy, and he spelled Yusuf Yusef, and Yusuf Islam spells it Yusuf. So anyway.
Oh, okay, I see. He's curly, dark hair and a beard.
Yeah, he was. But he's an interesting guy because he was a pop singer. You'd love the song "I Love My Dog."
Yeah, by Cat Stevens.
And he wrote the first cut as the deepest, which all sorts of people covered.
Yeah.
And,
I didn't know he wrote that.
Yeah, he wrote that, and he also wrote "Here Comes My Baby," which was a hit for the Tremolos and then some other people too.
Okay.
But yeah, he was a pop singer, and then he got tuberculosis or something. He was in a hospital for a while, and then he kind of came back as the leader kind of the folk revival in the 70s, the singer-songwriters.
Yeah.
But he wrote
kind of concept records too, because there's one of his albums called Numbers, and it's just all kind of about math.
But it's a story. That one has a whole story with it. But yeah, that was kind of his last. Well, Buddha and the Chocolate Box, I guess, was. Well, no, Numbers came after Buddha and Chocolate Box. But anyway, he became. He embraced Islam and stopped making secular music for a long, long time.
I'm done.
You're done?
I'm done. I got no more Moon songs.
All right. Well, let me run through just a few quick ones. Rudy Toot Toot for the Moon by Greg Brown, which I first heard on a Michael Johnson album, is really sweet little song and kind of nonsense put together. Great stuff. Winter Moon by Hoagie Carmichael. I don't know if I mentioned that one when I was.
You mentioned Hoagie Carmichael.
Okay. Well,
and now I'm hungry.
Well, he had Moon Country and Winter Moon, two great songs about the moon. I sing Moon Country, sang it to my kids many times. Mischievous Moon from Jill Barber, and that's from the 2010s, I guess. She's was a folky kind of singer, and then she did this retro stuff that sounded like a 50s female crooner. She's great. Under the Weeping Moon by Opeth. Opeth are like
kinda
a...
metal,
I know that one. That's a
a Scandinavian death metal band, but they were
The
melodic.
woman leads.
No, you're thinking of I can't think of the name of that band. Evanescence.
No.
But Opeth is guys, but
Okay.
they're kind of like if you blended death metal with Pink Floyd. So anyway, they're one of my favorite death metal bands. So like Indiana Moon, song from 1920. It's like the first song I put on, I think, when I bought a Victrola when I was 11 years old, a crank Victrola. Great song by John McCormick. Sunny Moon by Cat Empire. Over the Moon by the Innocence Mission, and Moonlight Drive by the Doors. Okay.
OTEP.
Moonlight Mile by Rolling Stones.
OTEP. Okay. Moonlight Mile, that's another great one.
As I recall, that has probably the worst snare drum sound I've ever heard on a recording.
Which one?
If it's that, I think it's another song on that same album. It just sounds like a wet cardboard box. I can't believe they let that go.
Sometimes you want it to sound like a wet cardboard box, John.
Okay. Well, are we moving on to...
I think we're moving on to recommendations.
All right.
Somebody go first because I got to look up a name.
I'll go first.
All right.
I discovered on Netflix last night. It's a musical documentary called Going Varsity in Mariachi. And it's about these high schools right along the Texas-Mexico border that have started up competitive mariachi contests, and they're doing it because there are colleges that will allow you to major, and they'll give scholarships in mariachi music. And so these kids, they're poor, they don't have anything, but they see this as an avenue of escaping their poverty and getting out there and making something out of themselves. And you get to know some of these kids, and it's really moving. It's really a fun, uplifting movie.
Was it like based in California or Texas? Texas.
Right along the Texas-Mexico border.
Oh, okay.
And it's basically 3 different high schools and their programs, but one of them, it gets most of the attention. But, it's like they get this guy in to play guitarron, which is the bass,
right,
the big acoustic bass. And he's never done it before. He goes, I've had this instrument for like 3 weeks. And that's the heartbeat of mariachi, is that bass line. And so he's just under the gun, and they're like, we've got state in 3 months. You got to get this right. And they're just like dialed in. They dance. They have moves that they make, and they dress impeccably in their outfits, and they do salutes and all together, and they practice the salutes and all that kind of stuff. It's really just wonderful performance art.
What's the name of it again?
It's called Going Varsity in Mariachi.
And where can you see it?
It's on Netflix.
Okay.
All right, I got one. Dust Bunny.
Yeah, tell us
now
about it.
This came out. It technically came out December of 2025. I don't think it was on theaters here though. But I saw it here for about a week or two and thought, "What is that?" Never saw it. Well, it's on HBO Max now. So I finally sat down and watched it. It's directed by Brian Fuller, who's a TV guy from Hannibal and Pushing Daisies. This is his film directorial debut, and it stars Mads Mikkelsen as a hitman, and Sophie Sloane as a precocious, independent little girl who lives in the same building as he does. And this movie, it was filmed in Budapest, but it's supposed to be New York City, and it's a real fantasy kind of New York City. And it's a really odd movie because this hitman and this little girl team up to battle monsters that they have in their life. And it sounds like a children's thing, and it's definitely not. It's a gory movie. It's rated R. I saw someone called it a gateway horror movie, I guess, to bring children into adult horror or something like that. This girl is like very precocious, and she's living this life, and something's happened to her parents, and you find out something's happened to other family members before them. And But I can't forget Sigourney Weaver and Sheila Atom are also really major characters in this. Sigourney Weaver is fantastic. She plays the hitman's handler, and then the other woman, she plays a child protection agent. What?
I said I love Sigourney Weaver.
Oh, she's fantastic in everything, and she's fantastic in this. And you just see what lives under the floor in this girl's apartment and what kind of demons this hitman is battling. And they have this great bond. A whole lot of the movie, there's like not much dialogue. And it's there's like a big Chinatown scene and everything, but it's all very surreal. And it does have violence in it, but it's kind of weird, kind of comedy too. I enjoyed it because it was just like something I'd never seen anything like it before, and just seeing them. But it's kind of like a dark-sided Willy Wonka or something. Just kind of the world that they're in.
Sounds fun.
And they have a great bond. That's the best part of it. Is this hitman and this girl who's very isolated and independent-minded are just kind of need each other.
That sounds good.
That's funny.
Well, I want to recommend the first season. I haven't seen the second season yet of Beef, which is Beef.
Okay.
Which is a series that's on Netflix, and it stars Steven Yeun and Ali Wong. Steven Yeun is the guy from if you watched The Walking Dead. He's the young Asian man in that is kind of the moral center, at least in the beginning of it. I didn't get to I stopped Walking Dead because I got tired of it. But this...
Too many people died.
Not for me, not enough people died. But this starts out with a road rage incident between these two main characters.
And that's why it's called Beef.
That's why it's called beef. It has nothing to do with cows or
right.
Food.
It's about you got to beef with someone. Yep.
And they start doing mean things to each other because they find out who the other one is, and it just escalates.
Right.
And it is like, I watched the last episode yesterday. Sarah got me to watch this. She said, "You're going to love this. You need to watch this." So she watched the whole thing again so we could watch the second season together. But it has a lot to say about letting things go and people with personalities. I mean, these are very damaged people, and they're not happy with each other, but they're also both workaholics and just high stress. And, man, it puts you through some stuff. For the first several episodes, you feel all the anxiety that they are feeling. And it's really uncomfortable, but you can't stop.
Right.
And it just has it's complicated. You have all sorts of characters introduced. Ali Wong's husband is Japanese, and his father was a great artist, and he's dead, but his mother, Ali Wong's mother-in-law, is constantly a sort of fly in the ointment of things that are going on. And they have a little girl, and she wants to spend more time with the little girl, and it's one of those things where you're just feeling for everybody. The main guy character is a poor guy trying to run a construction business. His brother is kind of a do-nothing sort of a guy.
Deadbeat.
Yeah, but before it's done, you get insight into everybody and how they became who they are. And it was really, I mean, it was a great ending. I can't wait to start the next one. The next one has Oscar Isaac and Carey Mulligan.
Oh, so it's going to be a whole new Beef?
Whole new Beef.
Okay.
Yeah, you couldn't, but the way this one ended, it would have been hard to have done any more.
Keep it on.
How many seasons of it are there?
This is just the second one that started just a couple of weeks ago.
Is the first season different characters than the second season?
Yeah, that's
every season is a different story.
Apparently. I mean, I think it reminded me of Fargo, both in tone, because people doing stupid things, and you're just going, please don't do this, but it's what stupid people...
It got a lot of acclaim when it first came out, the first season.
Yeah, it first came out in 2023.
Yeah. I thought it was a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So, okay.
But, yeah, I watched it, and I am totally a fan. If you liked Fargo, the series, and complicated series that are limited...
Good storytelling.
Yeah, it's great. Now, Ali Wong is, man...
I love her as a comedian. She's fantastic.
That's how I knew her, as a particularly nasty comedian.
Biting.
Very biting and very, she doesn't care what she says, which I really like. But, man, she's a good dramatic actress, too. Yeah. So, yeah.
I'm excited to watch that.
Yeah, I think you'll like it.
Music. Who wants to go first?
John started last time. What do you got, John?
It's an Australian woman named Courtney Barnett. She's been recording she's put out 4 or 5 albums. And I saw her at a music festival several years back, and it was her playing an electric guitar. She's kind of a punk with just a basic rhythm section. And I liked her, but I just thought it was sort of one-trick pony, and I never really paid much attention to her. But then a song of hers came up on a random shuffle the other day, and I was like, what is this? I like this a lot. And it was from her newest record called Creature of Habit that came out in 2025. And it's got all kinds of really cool guitar interplay, and her voice, her voice has developed quite a bit, and the production on these is much better. The early stuff was just like real straight ahead, four people in a room chugging away, but now she's like double tracked her voice on some things, and there's not a lot of synthesizers. It's mostly guitar stuff, but she smoothed out a whole lot of the rough edges, and it is just a good listen. Leslie and I listened to it the other night, and I kept having to say, this is still Courtney Barnett, because she covers a whole lot of ground on it. So I think you'd both like her.
I'm going to have to check her out.
And she's a female singer, so I know you like the women.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I took some sketchy notes on this music release because it's got such a complicated history, this group does. It's propaganda.
All right.
Okay. And they were formed by a fella from the German industrial band, Die Krups. And this guy, Ralph Dorper, he founded Propaganda. And this was in the mid-'80s when he founded them. And they signed to Trevor Horn's new label, ZTT Records.
Right.
Okay.
So they were going to get this big start from Trevor Horn's, but they got into such a financial bind because they had to put all their money into Frankie Goes to Hollywood. So this band was having trouble getting off the ground, Propaganda, and he had like 5 or 6 players in it, and they were all the pieces to create this new album for a new sound with all the background and everything for where we were in music at that point. And the 85 album kind of dropped and bombed, and because it didn't have any representation. So then the lawyers got involved, and one of them said, look, as long as you're with this record label, you will never make any money recording. So they managed to get out of the label. Everybody left the band, including the Die Krups guy, except for the guitarist. And his name was, Mertens. Anyway, he created a whole new band. And they
still called Propaganda, though.
Yeah, still called Propaganda, and got new singer, and a couple of guys from Simple Minds are involved. A couple of guys from who else was it? Tears for Fears, not the Curtis guy, but the other two,
right? And
a different woman singer. And meanwhile, some ex-women singers, people had dropped in and out of the band and everything. And it is so unfocused. But their album, 1, 2, 3, 4, it came out in 1990. So it was 5 years after that other album. And it is all over the map. David Gilmour has a really long guitar solo on it.
Which you loved.
Yeah, I love that. But it's got like atmospheric music. It's got electronica music. It's kind of adult contemporary. There's some stuff that sounds kind of like old ABBA. And it's meditative music, and it's like sonic soundtrack music. The songs are typically all over 5 minutes. Some of them are over 6 or 7 minutes, and you'll hear one song like just go all over the place. One of my favorites is "Your Wildlife." I think that's the best song on this album, 1, 2, 3 album. It's all over the map. It's catchy. It's got great melody to it. There's some actual rapping in it by one of the women singers, although it's more of a T-Pow. We were just talking about T-Pow Heart and Soul. It's more of that kind of talky kind of rapping. It's got just these chaotic breakdowns in it, and chorus. There's a scream at the end, but then there's all this like meditative stuff in between. There's another one, I think it's Ministry of Fear. It's 7 minutes long, and it's like a grandiose score for a soundtrack, and it's just this morphing sound all the time, and some performance art. And like I say, David Gilmour drops in the middle of everything. It's kind of like they were trying everything that had been working for the last 10 years and just stitching it all together in these real self-indulgent. But there's like some really fascinating, great stuff that comes from it. But there's also some just, like some of it was just tedious for me.
What's the name of the album you're talking about?
The name of the album is 1, 2, 3, 4 by Propaganda. It's their second album. It's a whole new, and the women of the group left, and they formed a band called Propaganda. And apparently Propaganda has resurfaced in the last year or two, and I don't know what they sound like now. Probably everything still. And the interesting thing was they were trying to, they had the label problems, and that derails so many acts anyway. It's not even the band's fault. They were firing original founders because of artistic differences. You hear artistic differences the whole time on these albums, but I still found a lot to like in 1, 2, 3, 4. And the interesting thing was they were trying to crash the UK market and then to some degree the US market, but they were actually popular in France and Germany, and that's not what they were looking for. But as a part French, part German guy, I'm like, I see why I like these guys now.
Yeah. I remember seeing that album the first album, but I don't remember ever hearing it.
Yeah, I did.
When did that album come out?
1990. It was their second album.
I'm just looking at my Apple
Yeah.
Music, and they have,
Spotify has it all messed up, but just look for 1, 2, 3, 4 by
It's not on
Propaganda.
there.
It's not on Apple. I found it on YouTube. You can find it on YouTube. And I found a 12-inch in my record collection from one of their. So very, very peculiar, very forward-looking and ambitious, but just all over the map.
Cool. Well, I'm going to recommend something that was one of the most popular albums of 2002.
Okay.
Come Away With Me. I mentioned Norah Jones earlier with the song "Shoot the Moon." "Come Away With Me" is her debut, and it was revolutionary for the moment because all the singers at the time were over-singing everything and just showing off just how
Now,
wonderful
you don't
their
have to take
voices
down
were.
my girls to sing up Norah Jones's
Gosh,
place.
yes, I
She
do.
was
Because she was a singer that was she underplayed, she had a lot of nuance, and she didn't ever oversing.
What was her secret? Was it Xanax?
No. It was just serving the song. And she had great songs by Jesse Harris and Lee Alexander, who was her bass player at the time. But, Jesse Harris is a great songwriter who comes out every once in a while with something new. But it was just an antidote to just the bombastic stuff that was going on at the time. And, this was, it came out a couple of years after my wife died, and it was like, I put it on I had it in my alarm clock. I had a CD alarm clock. So I would hear her voice in the morning, and I really needed to hear like a soothing woman's voice, and it was perfect.
And she definitely was and is that. It's very pretty music. I gave you all kinds of hell for it back in the day.
But
just because you kept having to trash Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey, it's like you don't have to put them down to like Norah Jones.
But that's the contrast. That was the thing is she was exactly what we needed at the time because she wasn't proving how she could oversing everything, and she's a very nice person too. I interviewed her twice around this period. Once before that album hit and became a huge success.
And in full confession, I listened to a Christmas album of hers a few years ago, and it's like my favorite Christmas album of the last decade.
It's the most surprising and wonderful thing that I've
I just
learned.
feel like I have to get my back up and defend these women you put down to like her.
Well, I get it, and I get why that became popular at the time, but man, I was so worn out by it. I used to call it, gargling on key, because that's what it sounded like so much of the time.
Gargling.
Well, it's like,
so demeaning.
Well, it's like, just back off a little bit. When my oldest son started the band, I went down and I told him, I said, "This sounds like crap." I said, "This sounds terrible." I said, "Back, let everybody have their moment."
That's just what you want your dad to come tell you.
Well, it was so funny because this is the band Psychotic Behavior, and everybody was playing as loud as they could play and as hard as they could play. And in bands, you got to back off. So
but that's 20-year-olds.
Yeah, I know, but it was so funny because the drummer, who was an excellent drummer, Nisha Walker, I was walking up the steps and he goes, "Your dad just said we suck." and actually, I think it was, it may have been Ben who said that, and Nisha said, "We do." And then they got to be great.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is you got to learn dynamics and back off, and that's what Norah Jones could do. Is she knew dynamics.
And that's all she did.
Well, no, she could sing harder. She could sing when she needed to. But it's like just give it
Fantastic
what it's supposed
Christmas
to have.
album.
And a fantastic debut album.
I can't with all my heart trash Nora Jones, but
it hit.
You better back off Whitney Houston.
I've always said.
I keep telling you, I've reviewed all of her albums. I've reviewed all of Mariah Carey's albums. I keep saying I've got to get some of these subtle songs they did because you've just been exposed to the over the top ones.
That's true,
and I have failed to do that.
That's true, but you saw every young woman who would sing a song. It was like, I'm going to be just like Mariah Carey or Whitney Houston, and it's like, please God,
it didn't work out for most of them.
No,
but there aren't that many Whitney Houstons or Mariah Careys.
Aren't.
I always said Whitney Houston had the greatest instrument. I just didn't like what she did with it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
She's a terrific singer. She had all sorts of techniques. She could do whatever she wanted to with that voice. I just wish she'd done less. But anyway, Nora Jones' first album, Come Away With Me. It was one of the top-selling albums of 2002 for a good reason, as we needed it so badly.
And it was pretty, regardless of any other artists out there putting out anything else.
Just let it go.
Her album
I can't let it go. I had years of this. Him calling her Snora Jones.
And now you've been doing this for years. Yeah.
I know.
Okay, everybody. We will come up with another topic for you next week. You can find us on social media, on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok. Thank you for joining us. And if you have any feedback or suggested topics, you can write to us at howweheardit@gmail.com.
Hello to all our Laotian fans.
Hello to all of our Laotian fans, our Vietnamese fans, our Cambodian fans, our Thai fans. Madagascar, Norfolk Island, you name it.
Wow.
All of you. All right. Thank you. We'll talk to you again.
You've been listening to How We Heard It with Chuck Campbell and Wayne Bledsoe, a podcast about music, movies, art, culture, whatever it is that's on their mind. How We Heard It was recorded at the Arbor Studio in Knoxville, Tennessee by me, John Baker. How We Heard It is a Cozy Planet production. If listening to this podcast has given you a burning sensation, then we recommend you sit in a hot tub until your symptoms fade away. If you'd like to reach out to Chuck or Wayne or even me, you can send an email to howweheardit@gmail.com. So thank you for listening, and come on back and we'll have another episode for you next week.